Hi, I am Adrienne White, fitness professional in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Here's another video to keep you moving and to help your body move more efficiently. Hope you enjoy. And this is your flexibility video. So we're going to spend a little bit of time stretching everything out and lengthening your muscles. If you have already worked out, you've done a strength training or a cardio, your muscles are already warm, we're good to go. If you haven't, I need you to take about 5 minutes. Go warm up some muscles. Big, like high knees, lifting your knees up to your chest, squats, light jog in place. You need to get the blood moving through your whole body so that those muscles are warm, because if they're not warm, they're not going to stretch. So we don't want to damage anything. We want to actually make your body move more efficiently. So we're going to start with a warm body. All right, so we're going to start from the head, work our way down. And then you may have to pause and take some time on some of these stretches. It takes about 30 seconds for the muscle fibers to finally release so they can lengthen. Here's the deal. If you're over 40, it takes about 60 seconds. So depending on how tight you are, how much you've stretched, your age, you may need to hold the stretches longer. So this will be a quick, easy video that you can use to refer back to, but you might need to pause as we get going. All right, so give yourself a little bit of space, and we're going to start from the head and work our way down. You can start sitting on the floor, or you could just start in a chair. I'm going to pick the chair for right now, but however you want to. So let's get started. Okay, so starting with shoulders. Adults, you tend to have a lot of tension. As you're working on the computer, your shoulders come up. So just lengthen the spine. You're going to inhale, bring those shoulders all the way up, and every time you exhale, press them down. I want you to feel like somebody's hands are on your shoulders, pushing them down. So really release. So inhale, lift. Exhale, drop. Really try and make them as low as possible. Now for really, really good stretches and to be very effective, you need to do most of these stretches 3 times. So you'll take the time to go through those. So do that as long as you need to, and anytime you feel tension in the neck throughout the day, that's a good stretch. All right, so you're going to sit really, really tall, even if you're sitting on the floor or if you're in a chair. Long, straight back, lift up, and I just want you to take your right ear, drop it towards your right shoulder, keep your spine lifted, and just kind of let that neck release. And if you want a little deeper stretch, you take that arm and push it away. And then bring it back to center. Then drop left ear, left shoulder. And as you go through all your stretches, one side might be tighter than the other. Really normal. So if you have a side that's extra tight, you might want to stretch it an extra time or spend a little more time on that. Okay, another way you can stretch that neck is to take it over and then tip your chin down towards the floor. And then just kind of stop anywhere that it gets really tight. So you may need to stop a whole bunch of times. Younger kiddos, probably not so much. And then always try to use that breath. So anytime you exhale, try to release. So when you're here, you can also reverse it and take your chin up towards the ceiling and feel different stretches that way. You're going to come center first, then switch to the other side, and just kind of tip and figure out where along that you need to stretch. You can take a lot of time on that. Neck has a lot of tension in it. So as long as something's tight, just kind of relax into it and release it as much as you can. All right, so neck is good. Mid-back, that is right between your shoulder blades. That can get really tight, especially when you're doing posture work. So you just take the hands, lace, and release. And so basically you're rounding your back, trying to stretch it out. You can drop the chin a little bit and just kind of feel that stretch and release. And then do it again, just to get that tension going. Opening up the shoulders, you can take the hands behind your back lace them, and then really open and pull your shoulders back. So what you're trying to do is roll your shoulder blades in towards each other. So you just stretch and release. And then you can do that again 2 to 3 times, just to kind of open it up and release it. Stretching the side of the body, those oblique muscles, the side muscles. Stay tall. Easy. Just tip over to the side. Now try not to round, because at that point you've lost it. So you're keeping the body open and fairly tall. And then you come up and you can hit the other side. You might be able to see I can stretch farther on this side right now. So most people, you have one side that's better than the other. So you can just kind of take it over, stretch it as long as you need to on that. Cool. Head, shoulders, mid-back, chest, side. Done. So moving on to legs, lower body. That's where we need to spend a lot of time. Most people are very, very tight there. So I'm going to move the chair to the side and hit the floor. So you can put a mat down. You just take the soles of the feet, put them together. Start with the feet way out there, long, long, long spine. Then pull the feet in. So if you're not real flexible, you may stay out here. That's okay. So you're going to keep the soles of the feet together, stay really tall, relax the shoulders, and then you're trying to push those knees down. So if you're up here and that's all you've got, that's okay. Inhale, exhale, drop. It's going to be called a cobbler's pose. You take in a yoga. So you're just going to stay there for about 30 seconds. You might need to release it out. And then come back in. Really trying to press those knees down so you're stretching inner thigh and your groin. Okay? Straddle stretch is another big one for inner thigh. Again, it might be very small. Because what I need you to do is sit really tall and sit forward on your hips. There's 2 little bones underneath called the sits bones. You're going to feel if you're back on your bottom or if you're forward on them. So you're just going to take the legs to a comfortable position for you, really tall, and then you're going to lock the hands out. So this might be it. It's okay. As you get more comfortable, or as you gain flexibility, you'll go lower, and this is where you're going to try and relax. Right now, your quads, top of your leg, are going to tighten because they're trying to protect the inner thigh and the hamstrings. So kind of release those so that you can let the muscles stretch. So whenever you're working on flexibility, the opposite muscle a lot of times tries to protect. So if you're working on your biceps, your triceps will protect. If you're working on your quads, your hamstrings will protect. So you have to think about those muscles and mentally let them relax. Okay, so you stay in this, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, come on up. Do it again. So you do it 2 or 3 times, get that nice and stretched. Okay, hip flexor. That is right here at the front of the hip. So I want you to start up on the knees. So take one foot, knee right over that heel. And then as you stay really tall with your body, push your hip forward, and you should feel a stretch right there. That might be plenty. So you're going to release. Lift. Almost feel like you're tucking your hip under, and then push it forward a little bit. Really watch this one. I don't want you here, because that's taking everything out of the hip and you're putting strain on that knee. So knee over the heel, and then push it forward. Okay, this is really an important stretch for runners. You got to release that hip. So take that time and stretch that out. So you do the same thing, both sides. And if you notice that it gets too far, just step that foot out. One side, it's going to be better than the other. Good enough. All right, so now, hamstring. That's the muscle underneath. Lots of ways we can stretch that. You can stay right here, lift up, stretch that leg out, tip from your head, keeping your back flat. So you might need to stay right here. You might be able to come down a little bit so that you feel that stretch. Relax your quad. So you want to try to avoid this. This actually isn't going to help your hamstring. The straighter your back, so you almost want to think about sticking your hips backwards, tip forward, and you'll get that nice long stretch in your hamstring. So that's one way. I've got two others for your hamstring, depending on what's going to help you stretch the most. So you can do it that way. You can go back to sitting with the feet out. You can do it with a flex foot, reaching. You can do it with a pointed foot. If you can't reach your toes, take a towel, wrap it around, and then you can hold on to the towel and pull yourself forward. That's another good way to do it. Okay? Another option is to lie down, keep one foot bent, take the other foot up, hold behind your leg and pull it in. Now, if you're here, hold behind the thigh or the calf or the foot. Avoid holding behind the knee. We try to protect that knee joint. It's kind of a sensitive area. So keep it here. And then you want to try to stretch and straighten that leg as much as possible. All right? So there's your hamstring. The hamstrings are back there. So the next thing would be glutes. That would be your bottom. So staying here, keep one foot bent. Take the ankle on that knee, open your hip. So basically it's kind of like the number 4 that you've done. You're going to take your hands, reach through, and you can grab underneath, and you're going to pull your legs in to your chest. So you can hold it here. The key is keeping this open and your hips down. Relax your shoulders and just pull it in. And remember, anytime it hurts, or don't ever go to pain. When it's tight, I guess is a better word. Exhale and relax. And so you would do that with both sides. Ankle over the knee, open the hip, reach through, and pull it in. So that's for your glutes, the bottom. Okay, now for your quad, that's the front of your thighs. Couple ways. You can lay right on your side, grab your foot, and then pull it. So you need your knees together. Your foot doesn't have to be close to your hips, but you need to think about pulling your knee back and keep them together, and then push your hips forward. So if you're back here, you're not stretching your quads out at all. Really think about lengthening so that you feel the stretch through there. Okay, there's that one. Awesome. All right, so this next one a lot of people think it's a very, very intense stretch. It's called pigeon. So it's going to get inner thigh, quad, hamstring, glute. It does a lot of lower body stretching, and it's one that is so, so good to do, and it just takes some getting used to and allowing your body to relax, because the muscles are going to want to tighten up when you get into it. All right, so you're going to take one leg and have it bent in front of you. The other leg you're going to straighten behind you. This can bend close, it can be open. That's something you're going to have to work on and figure out. Now, I need you to take your leg straight behind you. So right here, it's a hip flexor stretch. And I want you to take both hip bones and face them forward. So, this one hip might not be on the ground. That's okay. So you're going to be here. Relax your shoulders. So first of all, you're going to find that stretch. Then, to make it intense and to really stretch out all the other parts of the hip complex, you're going to relax your body forward and rest your head on your hands. If you've got great flexibility, your hands can be flat. If you need some help, you're going to make a fist so that your body stays higher. So basically, you're just going to come down and try to relax. So lots of stretching in that front leg, the front of it, the inside of it, the back of it, all around that hip joint and that upper thigh. So you're going to have to try to really relax the muscles. This is one that's really important to spend 30 to 60 seconds in. Really focus on releasing and relaxing the body. You come out of it, stretch it out, maybe do the other side, and then come back to this side again. So this is what we call pigeon. Okay, so there's that. All right, so we only have a couple things left. We've done most of it. Your calf or your Achilles tendon. The calf is the big muscle right here on the back of the leg. Your Achilles tendon is down where your calf muscle connects to the heel of your foot. So, really recommend a wall or a strong chair that's not going to go anywhere, even a step or a stair, so that you would stand on it and let your heels hang off. So I'm going to move my mat, bring my chair back. So standing, nice and tall, you're just going to take one foot back. Now make sure your feet are parallel. A lot of times I'll see somebody stretching and that back foot turns or the heel comes off. You've lost the stretch. So it's really, really important that both toes and both heels are like railroad tracks. So you're going to start right there, step back, and then here's the thing. If you're there, you're not stretching your calf. So you're going to make it really tall and you're going to lean forward with that back leg straight. So you should feel a stretch right there. So you're going to hold that. If your chair isn't strong enough or you really need to stretch it out more, use a wall and kind of push against it. Now to take it down to the Achilles tendon, you just bend the knee. Now be careful that the heel doesn't pop. That's not going to help you. Keep that heel down and relax that. And then you would just switch. Other leg. Stay there for about 30 seconds or 60. Stretch into that. And then remember, on any of these stretches, if anything hurts, stop. Stretch to where it's slightly uncomfortable. We never ever stretch to pain. Okay, the last thing that you might need to stretch is the arch of your foot. Sometimes it gets tired, it gets fatigued, depending on what kind of work you're doing. If you've been doing a bunch of jumps and you've really been working through rolling through that foot, dancers, that kind of thing, the arch of your foot sometimes gets really tight. So it's a pretty easy stretch. You just put the ball of the foot on the floor and just kind of force it over and feel that stretch, and do that with the other one as well. So there's your stretches. So from the head down, take your time, 30 seconds to a minute. And if you really want to make gains in your flexibility, if you're trying to touch your toes or you're really trying to get longer, leaner muscles, do them at least 3 times. Hold it for 30 seconds, shake it off, take a break, do it again for 30 seconds. Shake it off, take a break, do it again for 30 seconds. Especially if you're trying to release those hamstrings. Hamstrings are very, very tight muscles on most people. So relax into it. If you need to put on some nice music that's really relaxing and mellow, do that. So I hope that helps you, and keep at it. I highly recommend flexibility. You can do every day if you want to. Minimum 3 times a week if you really want to see a big difference. If you've done a heavy, hard workout, big weightlifting workout, stretch. Those main muscle groups, huge. There are several reasons why you need to stretch. Your muscles need to lengthen back out, especially if you've done weightlifting, you've just shortened everything. So you need to stretch them back out to where you started with. It will make you safer in all of the things you do. If you're trying to get stronger, it will actually help your muscles recover better, and you will get stronger. The other big, huge thing is it's going to help you stay safe and injury-free. So if you're somebody who's prone to injuries, you might not be stretching enough, and this can really, really help you. All right, so there's your flexibility. Take your time on it, 3 times a week or more. Just make sure you're always warm beforehand. All right, until next time, stay fit.